Ahmed, bring, because we have 5 participants. Who's supposed to come? Bring that person. Switch it off. No, because the voice was going from here. Huh? No, because the voice was going from here.
Salam Sheikh Noor, can you hear me?
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Salam Sheikh Noor, can you hear me?
It's not clear now.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Hello, test 1 2.
hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse 124. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 124. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا قَالَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي قَالَ لَا يَنَالُ أَهْدِ الظَّالِمِينَ.
The name of Allah most kind and most merciful. God says in this ayah, and remember, this is our trying to be right. The sons and wives, and you fulfill their heart. Say, verily, I make you an imam, so man Ibrahim says in this ayah, and for my offspring, say like Ibrahim, my sons will not inherit the unjust. This ayah when Allah Prophet Ibrahim with teachers which Prophet Ibrahim was succeeded. Example of these tests are when he told Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son in the way of Allah. Another example is when Prophet Ibrahim was told to take his wife and his son in the middle of the desert. Also, another example is when he destroyed the idols that were being made on his time. So, when he fulfilled all tests, Allah gave him a gift of being an Imam, being the title, being the ranks of Imam. And Prophet Ibrahim later then asked that, what about my offspring? Since he might die, and then what about his offspring? Allah told him that my pledge will not include the unjust. So Allah's pledge will not, if the Prophet Ibrahim's descendants were unjust, they won't have that same title, but they were just. So Allah also gave them the title. The first reference of this surah, of this ayah, is Surah Ayah number 102 to 108. This talks about the story of Ibrahim, the most human. Also, this ayah also talks about wilayah, which means absolute obedience towards the divine authority. Sheikh Noor, can you hear me?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I've been trying to indicate. I can't hear anything. It's echoing. I can't hear. Can you speak again? Let me see. Sorry, I can't hear you. I've been trying to indicate. I can't hear anything. It's echoing.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Can you speak again? Let me see. Sorry, I can't hear you. I've been trying to indicate. I can't hear anything.
Testing 1 2 testing. Testing 1 2 testing.
Yeah, yes.
Hello, Sheikh.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. But
Can you hear
we
me?
can't hear you. Okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah, but it takes long for you to hear me. That's the problem I have.
Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum, Sheikh. So there seems to be some issues with the audio on our end. We're trying to fix it. Inshallah, if you can join us after your salah, we'll start off with Sheikh.
Towards divine authority.
Oh no, sorry. I think I made a mistake. I think it's on Imam. It's Ayah.
This particular verse is discussing about imama. Okay, so what is the discussion?
It's on Imam.
Imama, duties of imama, characteristics of imama. What sort of discussion?
Imam is a divine authority that is elected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. An Imam or someone who has the status of Imam has gone through certain tests and has passed. Like Prophet Ibrahim, he passed tests which enabled him to become to reach the status of Imam.
Okay, so you're saying that that the imam is elected by Allah. So there is an election process.
No, like chosen by Allah.
Selected by Allah.
Yeah, selected.
Not elected.
Selected.
Okay. And after the trials and tribulations, imam is selected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
Can I sit for that exam and test?
No, it's only for unless you pass the test, but I think it's only for the people before us.
Only the people before us can sit for the exam.
I mean, there's no exam. It's just that.
So there is a trial, no?
Yeah, there's a trial.
So is it open for everyone?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? So from which part of the ayah you can say that I don't think so, that it is not open for everyone? These are the selected people who will go through these tests. Okay. The ayah starts from here. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ. And remember when his Lord tested Ibrahim with, now bikalimatin, we'll come to that, with certain words. So the characteristic of a test and a trial, remember. For example, if I sit for exam, so the school doesn't know that how much marks will I get. They don't know. So I have to sit for the exam. After giving the paper, I'll get the result. So before submitting the exam, the school is ignorant. The examiner is ignorant. He doesn't know how much is the capacity I'm having. Okay, this is the case. For example, before you came here and now you're sitting in front of me, before I test you, I'll not come to know that how much you have prepared, how much marks will you secure. So the examiner is ignorant, is jahil. What about this test? Allah is testing Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Na'udhu billah. That Allah is jahil, ignorant?
No, Allah is not jahil. Allah knows that Prophet Ibrahim is worthy of such kind of tests. So Allah has bestowed it upon him and given him to take those tests.
So what is the purpose behind that test? Allah knows that. Allah knows this, that Ibrahim will pass this test. Again, he's testing.
Yeah.
Really? What is the reason? For example, this light is switched on. I'll go and switch it on again. Oh, it's already switched on. Allah knows this. And Allah wants to know that I know this. This is the reason.
Maybe to make it have sense, like to show us that these prophets passed through some tests, that because of these tests they've reached a higher level. So that we should also try to pass our tests that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. So at least we can reach we can become higher, we can have a higher status in heaven.
And so these tests bring out the hidden qualities of that person. So he had that capacity. So these capacities will come out. For example, if there was no Karbala, was there any Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam? The Shuja'at and the bravery of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam, the Wafa of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam? Nobody knew. So the hidden qualities are there in one person. So these trials and tribulations bring out these hidden qualities. Next question is bikalimatin. So Allah tested Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam with certain kalimat. What is kalimat? Words. But you told me that the test was of sacrificing his son, leaving his wife and his child in the middle of the desert, destroying idols. Are these kalimat or actions?
These are actions.
So you're translating kalimat as actions. But Allah is saying that I tested Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam with certain words.
I think the certain words can be interpreted in different, yeah.
Give me some examples from the Holy Quran. That Allah has used words.
Yeah, like
but these are not words actually. These are some actions. Can you bring some examples from the Holy Quran?
like in Surah, I think Surah Yunus.
Surah Yunus.
Yeah, when Allah told the Prophet to build an ark. he told him that I think I'll be watching you with my eye. He didn't mean like his own eye. I think he meant by like he'll be there to see you, but he doesn't have an eye, he doesn't have a physical body.
Okay. Okay. I request you to open the Holy Quran. Chapter number 3, verse number 45. Can you please read out the verse?
When the angel said, "O Maryam, verily Allah gives you glad tidings for a word from Him."
Of a word from him. Allah is giving glad tidings of a word. Bikalimatin minhu. So who is the kalima? Ismuhu al-Masih Isa ibn Maryam. Whose name will be?
Whose name shall be Masih.
Masih. So kalima of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not kalima actually. Is Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. So there is no problem. So sometimes words are mentioned, but actually literally the meaning of words are not words. They can be actions as well. Okay. The thing which is existing in the outside world. Okay. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ. So he fulfilled those kalimat. Which one is this? وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ. When that particular trial happened in the life of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, according to the Holy Quran, if you keep some other verses in front of you, when did it happen? Was that when he was young or in his old age?
When he was told to take his son and wife to the desert, he was old at that time, because Allah, before this, Allah gave him he was not getting a son or a child. Allah gave him a child in his later ages.
So you're saying that in his old age it happened?
Yeah.
Can you support your argument with the verse from the Holy Quran? Do you know the verse exactly?
No, I don't know.
You don't know. No issues. After that test, which he passed, فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ, he fulfilled them, those kalimat. Allah says, قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. That I'm the one who's making you Imam for the mankind. So before this, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was Imam or not?
He was a prophet.
He was a prophet. Now, according to this particular part of that ayah, Imamat, and before this, he was a Rasul or he was a Nabi. So, which has a higher status, Imamat or Nubuwwat?
Imamat.
Why?
Nubuwwat, when the prophets, they had to find their own knowledge, like about Allah, like how Prophet Ibrahim was born and his father was a craftsman of idols. So he had to figure out himself that Allah is like there's someone, there's something, there's an entity like Allah. He went to he was, I think, yeah, his father told him to leave the house. So when he went under some cliff, he looked up, he saw the moon. After he saw the moon, he went away in the morning. So he said, the moon can't be God. he saw the sun, and then he saw at night the sun goes away, so it's not the sun. So then after all these thinking processes, he found out that there should be someone who created me. And an Imam, Imam has the teachings of the Quran already equipped with him. Like Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, all the Imams, they had the Prophet's teachings, which they used for themselves. They learned from it, and then they guided the Ummah with these teachings of the Prophet.
So what is the difference between Imamat and Nubuwwat? Still the question is hanging.
Nubuwwat,
Difference between a Nabi, a Rasul, and Imam. I'm not bringing Wazir and Khalifa. Leave it. Keep it aside. Nabi, Rasul, Imam.
Nabi is sent to guide the Ummah, the people, the mankind. Rasul is also sent to guide the mankind, but they have a higher knowledge. They have more knowledge about the Deen than a Nabi, and they have
Sorry,
also.
I didn't get you. Nabi and Rasul. Rasul has some higher knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, which Nabi doesn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do
then
you have any ayah or riwayat for that?
no. And then an Imam has the teachings of because the Imam came after the Rasul and the Nabi, so they have more understanding of the past, of what other Nabis and Rasuls did.
So
they have
because
more-
Imam came after Rasul, so he has a high authority.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, who is higher as far as the authority and the status is concerned? Imam Ali or Rasul Khuda?
Rasul.
How come here in that case, Imam is not superior than Rasul Khuda sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Because Rasulullah is the one who brought the Quran, and he completed the Quran, he completed the deen of Islam, and he also has the status of Imam.
Okay, so he was Imam as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but you said that Imam is the one who comes after Rasul. Okay. Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. I'm the one who is the maker, who is the one who makes Imam for mankind. So can you please tell us why this sort of word Allah has used? Ja'il. Allah has not used the word yaj'alu. Verb is not there. A verb contains present tense or the past tense. So the tense is there. So there is no fi'l madhi and fi'l mudari here. It's a noun. Can you please tell us why? I'm the one who makes.
Because Allah is the one who made it, no one else. Allah is the one who made the prophets become an Imam.
So what sort of message can we get from this particular phrase? Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. If you have a discussion with your Sunni brother and they say, Baba, from where you're bringing this imamat concept that they are divinely appointed and all this? So where you can prove that they are divinely appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's a divine appointment.
They are appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because it says here that I make you the Imam. It doesn't use like like I have made you or you will be. It's just said I make you.
So again, the translation is not correct. Huh? I make you. No, 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 no. I make you is a present tense. I will make you is a future tense. I made you is a past tense. Allah has not used the tense. I am the maker. Allah is using ja'il. So it shows that no one has the authority to make imam.
Only Allah has.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the word is saying ja'il, not yaj'alu, ja'ala. No, 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 no. I'm ja'il, I'm the one. I have this authority. وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي. What does it mean? قَالَ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي.
Prophet Ibrahim said, and of my offspring.
What does it mean?
He's asking Allah, what about my descendants? What about my children and their children, their children?
What is going to happen to the children of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam? About food he's asking? Or?
No, will they also have imama? Will they also?
قَالَ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي. So what about my offsprings? Will they become imam or not?
Yeah.
So what is the reply from Allah?
He said, my pledge will not include the unjust.
My pledge will not include the unjust. Who is zalim? Who is zalim?
Zalim is a person who does unjust to himself and to the mankind.
So the person who is unjust to
Himself and the mankind.
And the mankind. So the one who does injustice. Can you please bring one ayah from the Holy Quran?
Like an example is Pharaoh. He did injustice to himself, and he also did it to the people of Bani Israel. He was unjust to them. He made them do things that were not very good.
Can you please open the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 229. Okay. So the last part of the ayah. Tilka hududullah. These are the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا. Do not transgress them. Do not cross these limits. وَمَنْ يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. And whoever transgresses the limits of Allah, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. So it is those who are unjust. So there are limits Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has defined. Don't cross these limits. If you cross these limits, you are among the zalim. Okay? Or for example, inna shirka the dhulmun azim. So the one who ascribes partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a zalim. Okay.
Unjust.
From this particular phrase, part of that ayah, La yanalu ahdi zalimin. La yanalu ahdi zalimin. We can say that it has to be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before, inni ja'iluka linnasi imama, from here we can claim that Allah is the ja'il. Even here, La yanalu ahdi zalimin, from this part even, you can say that it has to be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I said that the imam should be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there are two different statements actually in this particular verse. Number one is inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. I am the one who is the maker of imam. From this particular statement, we can say that he should be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another is La yanalu ahdi zalimin. From this particular statement, you can claim that he should be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How come? I'm claiming that he should be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So the question is, why is...
I'm claiming that this statement, La yanalu ahdi zalimin, that my pledge does not extend to the unjust. This statement is calling out that he should be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How come? Are you getting my question or not? The claim is this: he should be appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can I drive this particular claim from this particular statement?
I still don't understand the question.
See, Allah is saying there is a ahad between me and Imam. A pledge, ahdi. My pledge is there. With whom?
Amen.
With the Imam. So Allah, you are the one who's pledging with the Imam. No one else. That you are the one who is going to appoint that person. We don't know. Allah is saying that my pledge will not be extended to the unjust people. Wow, we don't know that with whom you have made pledge. We don't know. So Allah is the one who is extending his pledge. He knows. We don't know. Can we prove the ismat of Imam from this particular verse, that they are ma'asum?
It says in the beginning that when the Lord tested Ibrahim with certain words, so Allah tested him, and he came out of the test successfully. And Ma'asum is someone who does not make mistakes, so he did not make a mistake, did not go away from Allah. So then Allah made him an Imam.
I'm leaving this question for Sheikh Noor. He'll come back to you. One thing, when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam gave test and he passed those tests, he got the higher rank or the lower rank?
He got a higher rank.
So he became the leader. Imam is a leader. Now take out a lesson from this particular verse for the leaders of our community.
So a lesson from this.
So
verse.
those who want to become leader, okay, what they should do and what we should do. He became the leader and he did nothing.
Allah knew that he got tested. So Allah knew that he could pass the test. So that if he becomes a leader, he may also be able to pass those tests of being a leader.
So before becoming a leader, needs to pass through some tests and trials. Then he is able to lead the community. Otherwise, he's not supposed to be
leader.
Okay, a leader. And in the same way, La yanalu ahadi zalimin. Zalim. So who was zalim in the past or in the future, he cannot become the leader.
Yeah.
What a lesson should we derive from this particular verse, from this particular statement? La yanalu ahadi zalimin. He should not be a zalim in the past or in the future.
So, if you want to be a leader, you have to stay away from being unjust and the sins. Because if you like let's say you do something that is wrong, you'll be in the unjust. So
is it important that we should look the past of the leader?
It's important to look at the past, but also let's say the leader's past was not very good, but he might have changed. So
that particular, inshallah, Sheikh Noor will cover that he has changed or not. Can he become the Imam or not? Inshallah. Sheikhuna, you can continue, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me? Hear me? Can you hear me?
No, the volume is low.
Oh, I don't know why. It's from your side, not from my side. Can you hear me now? Can you hear? Oh, I think he can't hear me. Can you hear me? Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear, it's clear.
Okay, so I'm not going to take much of your time because my salat time is already up here. And in fact, it's up, it's over 2-3 minutes. And Sheikh has asked you almost all the questions I wanted to ask. So let me just ask you 1 or 2 questions, and then I think it should be okay. I will award the marks based on Sheikh's questions and your responses to Sheikh, inshallah. So the question I would like to ask you, very simple, is that what is isma, and how do you prove isma through this verse?
Isma is name, yeah?
Isma is what?
It's a name. I'm not sure.
Isma simply means infallibility. What is infallibility, and how do you prove the infallibility of the Prophet and Imams through this verse?
Fallibility is a person that does not make mistakes. Like the Prophet never made a mistake in his life. This that the Prophet is infallible because Allah says that his pledge will not include the unjust. If the Prophet was unjust, then he would be one of the infallibles. He would be one of the imams. So because of this, because he passed all the tests, he make any mistake. This can prove his infallibility.
Is there any further explanation regarding the infallibility of Prophet and Imam when you look at that line which says, La yanalu ahadi al-zalimin?
Sorry? Can you repeat this?
You know that line, La yanalu ahadi al-zalimin?
Yes.
Use that to prove the infallibility of Imam or Prophet.
It says that the pledge, Allah's pledge would be for the unjust. But the prophets and the imams were just. They had no mistake. And Allah's pledge did reach to them. Because if Allah's pledge didn't reach to them, we wouldn't know about them. That's how we can prove the infallibility.
Yeah, but if your friend comes to you and says to you, why can't you and I also be infallible? And why them?
Because we may make mistakes in our life. So when we make a mistake, we cannot be infallible.
But why don't they make mistakes?
Because their taqwa, their iman of Allah is very strong. So because of this, they fear Allah, they love Allah, and when you love Allah, you'll obey Him. And Allah, when you obey Allah, you will do all the wajibat, and you will avoid all the haram acts.
Yeah, I still need you to prove infallibility through this verse. You've not done it for me. You've tried. I like your attempts. But really, there is some powerful points there, which if you can really use the line, La yanalu ahdi dhalimin, to prove that indeed an imam is infallible. It needs a scenario, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it needs a scenario to explain properly why an imam is something, inshallah, you need to double check when you go back, inshallah. Yeah. The last question I would like to ask you, what practical lessons do we learn from this verse?
We learned that Allah gave the Prophet Ibrahim tests, and because his faith was so strong, he passed those tests. So Allah may also give us some tests, and if we pass the test, Allah will reward us just like how He rewarded Prophet Ibrahim. So we must try to pass all these tests of Allah, and we get a higher rank in Jannah, inshallah.
Any other lesson apart from this?
No, I think
It's only one lesson in this verse.
yeah, I can't come up with another one.
The lesson of imamat, the lesson of zulm, injustice. There are so many lessons in this verse.
Okay, so maybe another lesson can be that an imam will pass through tests, many tests. Allah will give him tests, and then after Allah has given him tests, he can reach that status of imama. And also, the imams will be of the offspring of Prophet Ibrahim, the descendants of Prophet Ibrahim.
No, you see, if you look at, you mentioned that in the beginning, test. Lesson of imamate we learn from here is the importance of imamate. That's really crucial. Importance of imamate in the sight of Almighty Allah, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. As you mentioned earlier on, he was a prophet before becoming an imam. So that tells us the position of imamate is really the highest spiritual position that you can come across. You understand? And lastly, you've prepared before coming to this competition. What have you learned out of your preparation, and what will you share with the youth who are watching you online and physical?
I've learned that Allah has given everybody tests to do. Even the highest of people, Allah has given them to pass through some tests. So we should also learn from them and see how they've overcome these tests, and we should implement it in our life as well.
MashaAllah. No, thank you so much. You are lucky, it's Salat time, so I leave you now, inshallah. But keep up the good work, inshallah. Are you from Mombasa or Dar es Salaam?
Mombasa.
Oh, mashallah. Wish you all the best of luck. And we look forward to having you next year, inshallah. What is your number, your code? What is your number?
BA01MA.
BA01
MA.
MA. Thank you. BA01MA. Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Wish you all the best of luck. Abbas Kasamali. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, inshallah. Khuda Hafiz.
When will you come back?
Sao hả? Audio test, audio test. Can you see and hear? Is everything clear? Is there an echo? 1, 2.
No, look.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Hello, testing.
They're not getting audio from TV.
Hello, hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
Put on the TV.
Testing.
Once again, we are resuming Marifa session 15 to 18 just now. I just walk you through the process again. So when I call you, the participant, please come ahead, take the checks. First, you to share, you will tell him your badge number. Make sure you come with your IDs in front. And you can have a seat with them to start the process. So I'll allow you to choose who is the next participant. Who wants to come next?
What's your batch number? BA02MA.
Yeah, tell me, what's your name and your number?
It's BA02MA.
MA. Okay, Asante.
Which Ayah?
Ayah, what's the ayah?
Surah An-Nisa. Surah An-Nisa, verse number 59. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasul wa ulil amri minkum.
I hope they didn't watch for the ladies because the same verses the ladies chose and we asked the same questions. Even the previous one was the same. Was it Tala Ibrahim?
Oh my. Did you listen to the... Huh? It was live.
No problem. We'll ask different questions.
15 to 18 ladies actually. It was going live. If he has not listened, okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنزعتم في شيء.
Can you repeat that again?
فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله ورسوله إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا.
فردوه إلى الله والرسول. Proper pronunciation, inshallah. Continue.
Sorry, the font is small. O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those vested with authority from among you. And then if you quarrel concerning any matter, refer it to Allah and the Messenger. If you believe in Allah and in the last day, this is best and fairest way for final settlement. The start of the verse already tells us as the believers to obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those vested with authority among us. So basically, it's trying to say that Allah has given the authority, or rather the divine guidance upon the imams who are the vested with authority among us, and the apostle. And wilaya basically means that the spiritual leader, or rather divine leader, demands for absolute obedience from us, the public. So hence Allah is trying to say that us, the public who believe, we should obey Allah, we should give our total obedience to Allah, His Messenger, the Apostle, and those vested with authority. So the vested with authority here refers to the Imam, the Ahlul Bayt. Then if you quarrel concerning any matter, refer it to Allah and the Messenger. A cross-reference I'd like to give is in this same surah, Surah An-Nisa, verse 65, where Allah says, "But no, by your Lord they will not be true believers until they make you a judge in what they dispute amongst themselves. And then do not find any vexation at all within themselves against what you decide, and submit with fullest submission." So this verse is interconnected in trying to say that any dispute amongst the believers, they would want to make the apostle and Allah the judges. So apostle themselves and Allah is the Quran, the judges, and yet even after the judgment, they are yet dissatisfied with the judgment. If you believe in Allah and in the last day, this is best and fairest way for final settlement. So there's a condition to be a believer, that if you believe in the last day and Allah, then the decision that will be made will be in the fairest way for you in the final settlement. Yeah, that's it from me.
Shaykhuna, you can start.
Okay. No, Bismillah, Sheikh. Or should I start?
You can start.
Okay. So thank you so much for your presentation. The first question that comes to mind here is, what is the main theme of this verse? Somebody asked.
The main theme is wilaya.
Where did you get that from? I don't see wilaya in this verse. Where did you get that from?
Because in this ayah, Allah is saying that, "O you who believe, obey Allah and the messenger and those vested with authority." So Allah is asking us to obey his messenger and the people vested with authority. Hence, when you see the definition of wilaya, there is that the spiritual leaders expect for absolute obedience from us as the public, as the believers. So hence Allah is telling us to obey the Rasul and those with authority upon us. So us, the vested with authority, they have authority upon us, so hence we have to obey them and give absolute obedience. Hence this brings out the theme of wilaya.
So wilaya of who the verse is talking about? Whose wilaya?
The wilaya of the messenger of Allah, the apostle, and those vested with authority. Those are the Ahlul Bayt.
I will come to that later. So you're telling me the verse is talking of the wilaya of the Holy Prophet and those who are vested with authority. Is that right?
Yes.
Any other wilaya this verse talking about?
No.
Huh?
No.
Can you read the ayah again? Ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasula wa ulil amri minkum. Whose wilaya this verse is talking about?
So now, okay, the ulil amri minkum are the vested with authority among us. So basically that refers to the Ahlul Bayt.
I will come to that. I will ask you, why do you think it refers to Ahlul Bayt? That I will come there. First, you told me it's wilaya of the Prophet. I agree. Wilaya of those vested with authority. I agree. Is there any other wilaya in this verse that you are missing?
Wilaya of Allah.
Excellent. That's the most important one. Because once you rule that out, then all the other wilayas are crushed. You understand?
Yeah.
So the wilaya of Allah. Now question. What's the connection between Allah's wilaya, the wilaya of the prophets, and that of those vested with authority?
So basically, Allah is the divine authority. He is the topmost. Okay. and he has given the unlimited power to his messenger to have authority upon us, the believers. And he has given those vested with the ulul amri minkum, he has given them also the authority to make decisions for us. So hence we have been asked to obey him, Allah, and to obey the Rasul and the ulul amri minkum, which are the Ahlul Bayt. And also, because if you do not obey Allah's messenger and the ulul amri minkum, as you say, that if you forget even to obey Allah, then these others are crashed. So if you don't obey the Rasul and the ulul amri minkum, then indirectly you're refusing to obey Allah, hence you become a disbeliever.
So the connection here is Prophet's authority is from that of Allah. Allah is the main source of that wilayah.
Exactly.
Now you made mention of a point that Prophet has unlimited authority. Where did you get that from?
He has the unlimited power in enlightening commentary.
Enlightening commentary. Can you expound on that? Can you explain that? Which unlimited power?
He has the unlimited power to make decisions for us. As I gave the cross-reference of Surah An-Nisa, Ayah 65. But no, by your Lord, they will not be true believers until they make you a judge in what they dispute amongst themselves. And then do not find any vexation at all within themselves against what you decide, and submit with fullest submission. Hence, it's trying to say that the people at the time of Rasulullah would want to make Rasulullah the judge for any dispute that happened. If you look at the background of this ayah, just by the way, is that there was a dispute between one of the Muhajirin and Ansar regarding a palm irrigation. Hence, they asked Rasulullah to make the judgment. Rasulullah made the judgment in the side of the Muhajirin, and the Ansar say that since he's your cousin, you're making the decision on his side. Hence, this verse was revealed, that they are dissatisfied with your judgment, whilst Allah has given him the power to do the judgment, and these people need to obey the Rasul and whatever his desires are.
Yeah, but this verse doesn't suggest Prophet has unlimited authority. Now let me ask you a question. Is Allah's authority unlimited or not?
Yes, it is.
So what's the difference between his unlimited authority and that of the Prophet you just mentioned? If both of them have unlimited authorities, what's the difference between the two then?
The difference is that Allah gave that unlimited authority to the Rasul, his messenger, and to make the decisions for his ummah.
So you reckon Prophet has unlimited authority?
Well, okay, I'd like to rephrase myself. Not unlimited authority, but yes, he does have the powers to make decision for the ummah.
Yeah, that power we all know. Allah has given him that power, but the only unlimited is Allah. Everyone needs Allah. Yeah, but now let's move forward. What is wilayah?
Wilayah is when the spiritual leader, the guidance or divine guidance, expects absolute obedience from the public. In regarding the spiritual matters, and they expect that whatever they say, their desires need to be aligned with the desires of the public.
Okay.
And the public's desires need to be aligned with the desires of the spiritual leader.
Is this verse relevant today in our current situations?
In what sense? Like,
In every sense. House, community, countries, whatever. Religion. Is this verse relevant today or not?
yes, it is.
Explain. Take your time. This is very important.
Over here in this verse, it says, refer it to Allah and the Messenger.
I will come to that. Yeah.
At today's time, we do have Allah, but as the Holy Book, Quran. We do have the Messenger as his sunnahs, as his hadiths, as the books that have been written. And that also includes the Ahlul Bayt over there. But however, today's time, there are some people who say that we need to walk only with the Quran, leaving alone the sunnahs, the hadiths, everything, but we need to contemplate, give out logic from the Quran. So these are the disputes that are being created in today's time. There have been debates happening that on whom is right and whom is wrong, and if we should only hold the Quran and walk forward, or shall we only hold the Quran and the hadiths and sunnahs of the Prophet and walk ahead. So hence I feel that those who are not abiding by that are starting to become disbelievers in today's time. Hence this verse could be related to today's time.
Okay, now you see this verse, as you mentioned, discusses wilaya, but on the first level, it talks of leadership. Leadership. And of course, the leadership is more or less wilaya. So we need Allah's leadership. And we need the leadership of representatives of Allah, i.e. the Holy Prophets, and of course, Ahl al-Bayt, which will come there, inshallah. So it's very, very powerful verse when it comes to leadership. Once we try to divert from the divinely appointed leaders, that's when we'll all have problems. You agree with me? Now, when you look at the verse really focuses on some serious commandments. How many commandments are in this verse and what are they?
There are about 4 to 5 commandments in this verse.
Okay.
The first one is a command to obey Allah. The second one is to obey the messenger. The third one is to obey the ulul amri minkum. And fourth one is that if you have any quarrel, any dispute concerning anything, you need to refer it to Allah and the messenger. The fifth one is that if you really do believe in the last day, then whatever decision will come up will be the fair way for a final settlement, a conclusion.
Excellent. Where do you get this from that Ulil Amr refers to Ahl al-Bayt? I want you to support this with either hadith or a verse of the Holy Quran, not the verse you quoted earlier on. Because that one is talking about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not talking of Ahl al-Bayt. So justify textually as to why you are inclined to the fact that Ulil Amr refers to Ahl al-Bayt. Cross-reference.
Okay, so in this ayah, Allah has said, وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ. But He hasn't said, أَطِيعُوا أُولُو الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. I presume it's because that if your ulil amri minkum go hand in hand with Rasulullah. So if you're already abiding by the Holy Prophet, then you're automatically abiding by the ulul amri minkum, which are the Ahlul Bayt. The cross-reference I'd like to give here is that Suratul Ma'idah, ayah 55, where it says, verily, verily, your guardian is Allah and His Messenger Muhammad, and those who believe and establish the prayer and give the poor rate while they are in the state of ruku, bowing down. According to narrations, this verse refers to Imam Ali when he gave the poor person his ring in the state of ruku, and nowhere else is this found. So hence that we can also see that Wilaya is also mentioned about the Imams, about the Ulul Amri Minkum in the Quran. Hence that if you're already doing ita'at of Rasulullah, you're automatically doing ita'at of the Ulul Amri Minkum.
Very good. Any hadith to share?
Maybe the hadith where Rasulullah say that I'm from Ali and Ali is from me.
That's talking of only Imam Ali. We're talking of Ahlul Bayt. Ulil Amr is plural. This is plural. Ulil Amr. And those. Not and the one.
Maybe the hadith of Thaqalain when Rasulullah said he's leaving two weighty things behind, the Holy Book and the Ahlul Bayt. Hence that means that those vested with authority, those are the Imams, Imams, they are there, they have authority upon us, and Allah is there through the Holy Book. So that has authority upon us also. So whatever is in the Holy Book, we need to abide by that.
Thank you, Ahsantum. Now, inshallah, Sheikh Amran will take over. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you, Sheikh.
Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu ati'u Allah wa ati'u ar-Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. So how many ata'ats are mentioned here in this particular verse? Whom should we obey?
It's written twice.
My question is not twice. Whom should we obey? Number one is
Allah.
Number two is
Rasul.
Number three is
Ulil Amri Minkum.
Ulil Amri Minkum. Now the question comes here. If the ata'at are three, why ati'u is coming before Allah and Rasul only? If the ata'at of Ulil Amr was the same of the ata'at of Rasul and Allah, so Allah would have mentioned ati'u ulil amri minkum. So for example, consider me as a, for example, putting shubha here as a Sunni brother. I'm posing this doubt that how can you say that ulil amr are of the same level of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because ati'u is not mentioned before ulil amr minkum. You got the question?
Yes.
Ati'ullah, Ati'ur Rasul. But after that, it is not mentioned Ati'u ulil amri minkum. If it was the same, Allah would have mentioned Ati'u ulil amri minkum.
It's not mentioned because it's trying to show that Rasulullah cannot be separated from the Ulul Amri Minkum. Hence they go hand in hand. in other sense that if you do the ita'at of Rasulullah, you've done the ita'at of ulul amri minkum. Rasulullah did preach Islam by word.
How can you say this? There is no difference between the ita'at of Rasulullah and ulil amri minkum. What is the evidence? From this particular verse.
So the answer is in this verse.
Yeah.
Could you repeat your question?
My question is this: as you said, that there is no difference between the ita'at of ulil amr and ita'at of Rasul. I agree.
Correct.
Ita'at of both are same. How can you prove this from this particular verse?
Okay, so over here it says Atiyu Allah wa atiyu Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. There is no atiyu before there. Hence, if you do ita'at of Rasulullah, you have done ita'at of ulul amri minkum. It further says that if you have any quarrel concerning anything, refer it to Allah and the Messenger. So if you refer it to Allah, yani you have referred it, if you refer it to Allah and the Messenger, and ulul amri minkum is not mentioned again, because if you have referred it to the Allah and Messenger, you have automatically also referred it to the ulul amri minkum.
You're proving my case actually. If ita'at was the same, Allah would have said, if there is any dispute, faruddu ila Allah wa Rasul wa ulil amr. So don't go back to ulul amr, to Allah and Rasul, because ulul amr are someone else.
Ulul amri minkum are those people who are given the imamat only, whilst
Who are they? We are keeping it aside for a while. My question is this: the ita'at of Rasul and ulul amr is the same ita'at.
yes.
Prove this from this particular verse. See, the answer is here. After the ita'at of Rasul, the word ati'u is not repeated. There was no need of repetition. So it's a conjunction Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used, as they are not different from each other. Ulil amr and Rasul, ita'at is the same. But for before Allah and before Rasul, there are two different ita'at, because ita'at of Allah is of the different of ita'at of Rasul. But when it comes to ulul amr and Rasul, there is no difference in that. So there was no need of ati'u to repeat. I claim here that ulil amr minkum. You're saying ulil amr are Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Prove it. I say no, they are not Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. I can give the example from the ayah itself. And you are saying that they are Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Should I give my evidence? Ulil amr are normal people. Ulul amr, they are the ulama, for example. They are the ulama of the community. Or they are the learned people of the community. Minkum, this minkum is showing this. They are among you. So they are normal people. How can you claim that they are Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam? So what this minkum is doing? Ulil amr, who are ulil amr? Ulil amr are minkum. They are amongst you, no one else. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to give it a try. So Ulil Amri Minkum, according to the translation, is that vested with authority from among you. So the people among us who have authority on us. Now, since they have authority on us, we need to give them absolute obedience. So again, that's the concept of wilaya, that you need to abide by them. So if they're among us, and if their authority is the same as the authority of the Holy Prophet, then that is equivalent probably to say that they are the Ahlul Bayt.
I didn't get you. You didn't solve the mystery of minkum. They are from you, amongst you. They're not the chosen one. Ahlul Bayt are the chosen one. Would you like to open the Holy Quran?
Yeah, sure.
Surah Jumu'ah, verse number 2. So the answer is a rebuttal.
Verse number?
Verse number 2, chapter 62, verse number 2. Can you please, I'll read out the ayah in Arabic, you read out the translation. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Huwa alladhi ba'atha fil ummiyina rasulan minhum yatlu alayhim ayatih.
Just a second, I'm not. Chapter?
Have you opened?
Chapter?
Chapter number 62, verse number 2.
He it is who raised among the Ummis, illiterates, a messenger from amongst them.
Amongst them. Huwa alladhi, he is the one, ba'atha, he has chosen, he has sent fil ummiyina, amongst the ummiyin, rasulan minhum, a messenger minhum, he is amongst them. So the Rasul is a normal person or is chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Chosen.
Chosen one. So minhum ya minkum, there's no problem in that. Minkum means the ayah which you recited, that these ulul amr, they are the one who are living amongst you. It doesn't mean that you have to choose. They are the people who are living amongst you. This is one thing. Ulul amr is plural. Ulul amr, the possessors, those who possess amr, authority. Okay, those who possess authority. And according to the Shia belief, Imam can be one at one time. For example, when Imam Ali was there, Imam Hassan was there, Imam Hussein was there. But who was the Imam of the time?
Ali.
Imam Ali. When Rasulullah was there, he was the Imam. When Imam Ali was there, he was the Imam. When Imam Hassan came, he was the Imam. So Imam should be one person, is singular. But this particular verse is saying ulul amr, ulul amr. It's plural. And it is proving my case that those who are intellectual people of the community. So it's plural. How can you say that it should be a single person at one time, one Imam?
Please, can you repeat? Repeat.
Question is this: Ulil Amr is plural. My claim is this, that Ulil Amr are those intellectual people of the community. So you have to follow them. If there is a consensus, follow them. These are intellectual people of the community. There's no problem. But you as a Shia, you're claiming it means that Imam of the time. Who is the Ulil Amr currently for you?
Imam Mahdi.
Imam Mahdi. He's one or plural?
One.
Singular, plural?
One.
Singular. But Ulil Amr is plural.
It's plural because the previous Ulul Amr before Imam Mahdi have already been here among these people and were chosen to be given the authority. Hence, I, yes, do abide by the current Imam's authority. If he does reappear today, he tells me I'm in his team to fight the enemies, to humiliate them back, I'll be there. But again, if the period of, let's say, Raja comes, so when the ancestors come, when the Masoom come, the previous Ulul Amr, I'm also bound to abide by them because they have been one among us and they have been given the authority from the lineage.
Ahsan, Jazakumullah khaira. If the answer is, if we consider all the Ulil Amr, how many Aimma do we have?
12.
12. So it's plural. But at one time, if it is one, there is no problem. The example of Ulil Amr is only one currently. So using a plural, there is no problem. Can you give an example from the Holy Quran? Yes. Allah says in the Holy Quran, Hafizu alas salawat. Protect your prayers. Okay, at the Fajr time, how many prayers do you have to protect?
5.
5. At Fajr time?
Oh, Fajr time too. One.
One only. But Allah is saying, protect your prayers. But the example is only one at that time. There is no problem in that. Collectively, all in all, there are 5 prayers. There is no problem in that. But at the time it is one, there is no problem in that. So Ulil Amr, it's plural. There are 12 Imam. But currently I'm having only one Imam. There is no problem in that. So, question. The ayah continues and says, wait for a while. Ayah says that فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ, and if you dispute concerning anything, if you dispute, فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ, refer it to Allah and the apostle, the messenger. Why not to Ulul Amr? If the ata'at is the same, why we should go back to Allah and Rasul? This is proving my case, that Ulul Amr have a different ita'at, and the ita'at of Allah and Rasul is different.
Well, the apostle have a lofty status than the Imams because first of all, they were the Abd of Allah, then they became the Nabi, Rasul, and then the Imam. So also the way there is no ita' before Ulil Amri Minkum means to say that if you already do ita'at of Rasulullah, you're already doing ita'at of the Ulul Amri Minkum, which are the Imams. So hence, if you refer to Allah and the messengers, it's like, you know, when you refer to Allah and the messengers, it's like you're already getting your way to the ulul amri minkum.
Do you know the answer of it? فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ, if you dispute in any of the matters, who has brought the Sharia? Who has brought the Sharia?
Rasulullah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sharia has been brought by Rasul. Does the Imam bring new Sharia?
No.
So that's why you have to go back to Allah and Rasul, because the Sharia is from Allah and Rasul. Imam is the one, Ulil Amr is the one who is implementing that Sharia. So that has to be solved according to the Quran and Hadith. And what Ulil Amr are doing, they are just explaining Quran and Hadith, nothing else. That's why you have to go back to Quran and Hadith. If you have to follow, or if you have to obey Ulul Amr, and this ayah was revealed when Rasulullah was there. So I will do the ita'at of Allah. I will do the ita'at of Rasul. Where is Ulul Amr? Where should I go?
The ulul amr were those literate people among the community at that time.
Ah, so you're proving my case, huh?
No, no.
So this is the case I'm presenting, that Ulul Amr are those intellectual people of the community. You are claiming Ulul Amr are Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Okay, last question. Then I'm releasing you.
I just want to try this.
I'll try.
Those vested with authority among you, I feel it's talking for the future, that once like you've obeyed the Allah, you've done the ita'at of Rasul, and the lineage will continue. I mean,
So you're saying that those who will be given authority.
yeah, the chosen
future.
ones from Allah. Yeah.
Where is the future tense here? Allah is giving me the order. Atiyu, obey them. In future, they will be given the authority. Does it make sense? Allah should say that in future you obey them. Future. Do the ita'at in future when they'll get the power. Last question. I don't know my Imam. I don't know him. How can I do the ita'at of my Imam? I cannot see him. I don't have the ma'rifat of him. If I don't have the ma'rifat, I can't see him. How can I do the ita'at of my Imam?
If you're a believer and you do the ita'at of Allah and the Rasul, and you believe in the last day, how can you not then do the, how can you not know, rather do the ita'at of the current Imam?
So you mean to say that if someone does the ita'at of Allah and Rasul, it's sufficient. So there was no need of mentioning Ulil Amri minkum. There was no need then.
There was, because they're among us. So if they're among us and they have authority among us, it's easier to probably give obedience, because they're among us but chosen with the authority.
I'm repeating my question. I don't know my Imam. I don't have the ma'rifat. Okay? How can I obey my Imam if I don't know? And he has not mentioned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not mentioned here, that first you go and get the ma'rifat and do ita'at. My Imam is not there. So is this ayah applicable or not currently? Do I have to follow my Imam or not?
You do.
Where is my Imam?
He's in Ghaibat and they are naibs out here, the mujtahids.
So you have to explain what is the meaning of itaat. What is the meaning of itaat then?
Itaat is obedience.
Obedience means?
Fully submitting yourself to the divine guidance. So you're listening, and basically you don't keep your desires on top of theirs. What they say, you follow. If you don't follow, you are then a disbeliever. So hence,
So
since you don't.
do we have any narration from Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam that as though in the ghaibat of Imam, we have to follow the maraji or mujtahideen? If we follow them, or if we obey them, for example, so we are following Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam. Can you give us a cross reference? Okay. I have not seen my Imam. How can I do his itaat? It's a rebuttal. You can give a good rebuttal. Good rebuttal you can give. Go back to the
Can you see the
beginning of the ayah.
electricity where it's coming from?
You go back the beginning of the ayah.
Or you?
I have not seen Imam. How can do his itaat?
Or you who believe?
How many itaats are there?
3.
Have you seen Allah?
No.
Have you seen Rasul? Can you do his itaat? Seeing is not necessary for having the ma'rifah is enough. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We have our next participant.
Sorry, name and the number of the participants.
BA03MA.
BA03MA, okay.
And my name is Ali Abbas Karim.
What's your name?
Ali Abbas Karim.
Ali Abbas Karim. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يوم ندعو كل أناس بإمامهم فمن أوتي كتابه بيمينه فأولئك يقرؤون كتابهم ولا يظلمون فتيلا. Remember the day when we will summon every people with their leader. And then whoever is given his book of deeds in his right hand, then these shall read their book joyfully, and they shall not be dealt with even the breadth of a thread unjustly. So this verse starts with the word Yawma. Now the word Yawma here is the Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of judgment, where people will not only be judged individually, they'll also be judged in groups. They'll be judged in their nations, they'll be judged in their parties, they'll be judged together with whom they chose to be with. It says, Nad'u kulla unasim bi imamihim. We will call out all people with their imam, with their leader, whom they chose. Now the righteous leaders and their people will be in one group, and the corrupt leaders will be in another group. The imam is a leader of everyone. So if whoever you chose as your leader, you'll be with them and the people who also chose that leader in the day of judgment. But our imam is in ghaibah, so we have to go to who he gave us to be our imam, as an agent of the imam. He gave us the maraja as our agents, and we had to follow them to be part of the imam and to be with our imam in the day of judgment. The imam must be righteous, must be infallible. You cannot have an imam who is fallible, who commits sins, because that would mean a corrupt imam. And your leader must be in a higher state than you. If you want to achieve infallibility and you want to achieve a life without sin, or a life with only obedience, then you must have an imam who is a higher status than that. The imam embraces the full potential of his people. The imam sets up programs that help people's souls inwardly and outwardly. The imam is the reason that we are who we are right now, and he will guide us to justice. He embraces our full potential as a group and a society. فَمَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. And whoever whom gets their book in the right hand. In Surah Infitar, it's mentioned, فَمَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. He will go through an easy hisab, an easy judgment. We want to be like them. We had to choose the right imam, the infallible imam, the imam who is appointed by Allah. We can't have an imam who is appointed by humans or appointed by himself. We cannot have a leader who people have voted for. People who are fallible and commit sins have voted for a leader. We cannot follow them. We had to follow who the Almighty, the creator of the covenant, put as his leader. Because Allah Almighty is the creator of this world. So he gets to choose who is the leader of this world. And we have the choice of who we follow as our leader. Is it going to be Taghut, the false deities, or will it be the Imam, who Allah has appointed? فَأُولَٰئِكَ يَقْرَؤُونَ كِتَابُهُمْ وَلَا يَظْلَمُونَ فَتِيلًا. They will read their book in joy, and they will not be wronged so much as a single date thread. Shows such an insignificant amount, because Allah in the day of judgment will be 100% just. There is no injustice with Allah in the day of judgment. The reward or punishment in the day of judgment reflects exactly what was reflected in the world. If the group of people follow a leader who is corrupt, a leader who commits sins publicly, even privately, a leader who cannot answer all your questions, a leader who cannot appoint anyone to be with them when they're not there, then those people are in big trouble. However, we have Imam, we have the Ahlul Bayt. Our Imam of the time right now, Imam Mahdi, Ajallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, has given us Maraja, has given us people we can go to. The Imam is in Ghaibah right now, yes. Other people in the world have had Imam who were not in Ghaibah. The people at the time of the prophets had them as the Imam. The people at the time of the other Imams had them as Imam. Yes, our Imam is in Ghaibah, but we still have to follow him. No matter where the Imam is, we must follow everything that he says and does. Because to be the people in the right, to get to the book in the right hand, we need to have the perfect Imam, the infallible Imam.
Sheikhuna, you can ask question.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. The first question is, what is the theme of this ayah?
So the theme of this ayah is imama. In more detail, it's the choice of imama. Our imam right now is Imam Mahdi. If we follow him and follow everything that he does, then we will be in the right people who get the book in the right hand. We have a choice of our imam, and other people have a choice of their imam. In this verse, the context means the leader. The people in the past, they may have had prophets as their imams, but we have the Imam Mahdi at our time.
So you reckon this verse talking about imama or talking about Imam Mahdi?
For us, it's talking about Imam Mahdi.
Where did you get that from?
Because he is our imam. So the topic of this verse is imama, yes. But for us, it's Imam Mahdi. He's our imam right now. There were prophets and other imams before, but we had to obey who our imam is right now, which is Imam Mahdi.
Okay, so this ayah, according to you, is discussing the concept of imam.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Of imama?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the connection between this verse and the verse before it and the verse after it? Check very well. Take your time, please. Huh? The verse which starts, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam, 70.
So the ayah before shows that Allah has blessed us. He has given us so much. He's made us ahsan al-makhluqat. And from us, he's made leaders. He's chosen some leaders from us whom the majority should follow. And the ayah after, and this ayah talks about who the day of judgment, where everyone will be with whom they chose to follow. And the ayah after it, it says, but whomsoever is blind in this life, he should also be blind in the hereafter. Like I said before, the groups of the leaders will be reflected. Just like it was in this world, it'll be in the hereafter. It'll be completely, exactly reflected.
So in other words, what is common between these verses? Because it's very important. I really need you to understand that before we can move forward.
Uh, 71 and 72 have a better connection than 70. Because
Lovely.
70 talks about the, yeah, because 70 talks about the world and what Allah has given us, everything, basically. He's given us the land and the sea. He's provided us with good things.
Lovely.
But 71 and 72 talk about the day of judgment, where 70 will be reflected.
Okay.
Whatever you will be reflected, yes.
Yeah, so in other words, if you look at 70, it highlights on Allah's blessings on his servant. And if you look at the one in question, it highlights on Allah's blessings of providing guided leaders. You understand? Guided leaders. So it's all are talking about Allah's blessings and bounties, you know, over his servants. Very good. Now let's move forward. You made a point severally that Imam Zaman gave us Maraji. Where did you get that from?
Sorry, I meant the Imam before Imam Zamana who are under house arrest and who didn't have a chance to meet with everyone and follow and give all the fiqh rulings. They gave us Maraja, and this was continued through Imam Mahdi, and it's continued right now.
So if someone comes and tells you, I don't agree with you, I only subscribe to my prophet, to my Imam, and that's it. Do you have a proof
the Imam
to substantiate what you are saying?
The Imams have given us, the seventh Imam, for example, he was the one who started Marja'iyah. He gave us. There's so much proof for this.
So give me one. Give me one of the proofs. Take your time, think about it.
I'm not sure of the word, but the 11th Imam had some, I'm not sure of the word, but he had some people with him, some in charge, and I think it's Nawab or something like that. That was also continued through Imam Mahdi through in the first ghaiba, in the ghaiba al-sughra.
What happened?
So those people were representing the Imam on the earth because they went to the Imam. The Imam gave them information, and they gave us information. They gave the people information. So if the Imam had already started giving people information and telling us to use that information, we still had to go to someone. We can't go to the Imam for everything that's happening in the world so far, because gradually over time everything changes. If we have a new invention right now, there's no ruling from the Prophet or any of the Imams that about this invention, if it's halal or haram. So there has to be someone in charge, not someone in charge, someone who's the agent of those who are in charge. We need someone to tell us if this can be considered halal or haram. We need the people who have so much knowledge that they can give us commands.
Okay, my next question is, if you look at the ayah, Allah says, يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. Translate that before I ask my question.
The day when we will summon every people with their imam or leader.
Okay. Now you beautifully explain that day. That day is which day? Take some sip, yeah.
The day of Qiyamah.
Very good. Each group, each nation will be called upon with their leaders. Now, how do you know that your leader is the right one and not that of the others? Focus on the verse, because Allah says, on that day, we will invite you with your leaders, because these are the leaders you follow, and these are the leaders that you are going to be with. And the judgment will be passed according to the leader you follow, isn't it? Now the question is, how do you know that the leader you are following, Ali Abbas Karim, is the right leader?
So the leader you follow has to maximize yourself to the full potential and the society to the full potential. The leader you choose has to have rulings on all things or appoint agents who put those rulings in all things. Islam is not only a religion, it's a way of life. Every single thing has a ruling. It's not only a matter of some things like other religions where enjoyment is one thing and religion is another. For us in Islam, everything has to be reflected upon, and our Imam has done so. This religion has done so. This is the only religion in this world that every single thing has to have a ruling on. So if another leader is the correct one, then they're not doing a very good job in giving us the ruling for every single thing in this world that we can. If you ask a marja about anything, if it's halal or haram, if it's allowed or not, then they can tell you.
No, you prove to me the Imam you follow and subscribe to is the authentic Imam.
The Imam,
let make it easy for you. Ali Abbas Karim, where are you from? Mombasa, Dar es Salaam, Dubai, where?
Dubai.
Okay, you're from Dubai. You are a Shia Ithna Ashari, isn't it?
Yes.
So you follow how many Imams?
12.
12 Imams after the Holy Prophet, isn't it?
Yes.
This verse is telling us that on that day, you are going to be with your Imams, isn't it?
Yes.
So my question is, what informs you that the 12 you follow are the right ones and not the ones others are following?
Okay. The Prophet has mentioned in many occasions, such as Ghadir, that Imam Ali is the rightful successor after me. And he's also mentioned in many hadith that there will be 12 after me. And the last one will bring justice into this world. There's a hadith from the Prophet. This is just a paraphrasing. There will be, if there is only one day left of this earth, Allah will raise someone from a righteous guide from my progeny, and will make him spread justice around the world, just as injustice and corruption has been spread around the world already.
Okay.
So if the Prophet has said, then we must believe.
That's good. Now let him take you further. First part of the verse, يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. Done. Look at the next one. فَمَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. What's the translation of that?
Then whosoever is given his book in his right hand.
Okay, let's stop there. What is the connection between يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ and فَمَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ?
So like I said before, people are judged both individually and with their groups. So if they're judged with their Imam, and individually, if they've done good, and with their Imam, their leader is a righteous leader, then they will get the kitab in the right hand. Allah has His own algorithm. I cannot say who goes to heaven or hell. It's Allah. It's all in the hands of Allah. However, I do know that whoever is righteous and has righteous leaders, then they are the ones who get the book in the right hand.
Okay, that's very good. You follow a guided Imam, you're going to get your book in your right hand, isn't it?
Exactly.
What is imamate?
A leader.
That's too generic.
Who you choose to follow in both spiritual, political, moral, and mental implications. You follow someone. It might be different ones for all of them, but whomsoever you follow has to be righteous for you to get in your book in your right hand.
Now, someone comes to you and says to you, Ali Abbas Karim, you talking imama, wilaya, all these things. There is nothing in Quran talking about this. How will you respond to that person and show him that there are verses in the Holy Quran talking about imama?
So there are verses in the Holy Quran. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا رَسُولَهُ أُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. Now,
no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want clear verse talking about imams.
Okay.
talking about imamate.
Yeah. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا.
Fantastic. And also the verse in question, يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. بِإِمَامِهِمْ. Because today you hear people out there saying that, and these are some of them claim to be Shias, that there is no imamat in Quran. The concept of imamat is in Quran. If you want to ask me, show me where Amir al-Mu'mineen is mentioned in Quran, then we can go down the commentaries by the Holy Prophet and Ahl al-Bayt. But imamat yawma nad'u kulla unasin bi imamihim. Okay, now, Ali Abbas. What practical lessons do we derive from this verse that are relevant to our current situation in the world, as Shias, as Muslims, whatever?
So our situation in the world right now.
Yeah, the current, the relevance, practical lesson.
Yeah. So just as Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith I mentioned, injustice and corruption is spreading over the world. And it's said that when Imam Mahdi arrives, people will crave for justice and crave for equality. We need someone in charge to spread this around the world. We need to prepare for Imam Mahdi. Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, "Afdalul ibadat intizar al-faraj." The best and most beloved of actions is waiting for the reappearance. So this is 100% relevant to what's going on in the world right now.
And last question. As youth, what have you learned through your preparation before this competition, and what will you share with the youth out there from your preparation and the lesson you learned through your preparations?
Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, okay. Alhamdulillah, you prepared before coming to this competition, isn't it?
Yes.
What have you learned out of your preparations, and what will you share with us as youth?
Okay. One of the lessons that you learned from this ayah specifically, or from all the ayahs?
All the ayat, your preparation for the competition, just in general.
Okay. So if I want to give you a specific one from this ayah, it would be the choice is yours, and you cannot be forced by anyone else, and to make the correct choice for the Imam. We've been given so much information in the Quran, and we have to read the Quran and the translation to understand that the choice is ours to choose our leader, and Allah has given us divinely guided leaders. So why not follow them?
What will be your advice to the youth based on this, your preparation and the lesson you learned?
To read the translations of the Quran more, and especially the ayahs where you can see hints of imama and hints of wilaya, such as like I mentioned before, the ayah that I mentioned before. If you read the translation of the ayah, then you can make your iman and wilaya stronger.
Asanto, translation obviously is not enough, but yes,
Yeah,
that's a point of departure.
That's a starting point. That's a starting point.
Yeah, you go translation and then you go reflection, tafsir, and reach out to scholars. Thank you. You've done well. Let's now hear from Sheikh Kamran. Ahsantu. Ahsantu.
Ahsan Sheikhana. The verse is saying, يَوْمَ نَدْعُ كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. If you go and see the Lughat dictionary, the meaning of Imam is the one whom you follow. Okay. But the Holy Quran uses this word for other things as well. For example, some ulama have claimed that meaning of this Imam is the book which you have followed. So on the day of judgment, all the people will be called by their books. Torah, Zabur, Injil, Quran. It has nothing to do with the Imam of your time, which you are claiming Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wassalam. What will be your reply?
So can you repeat the question again?
I'm saying that you claim that Imam here means that the Imam of your time, that Imam is Zaman alayhi salatu wassalam. I'm saying no. Imam is the book which you have followed. Quran, Zabur, Injil, Torah. What will be your reply?
Can I have some time to think?
Yeah. Should I give you a hint?
No, I think I have an answer.
Okay.
So the Quran is the best book in the world. Allah, it's a divine book that Allah has sent down. But what covers inside of it is not enough for everything that's in the world right now. All the rulings, all the jurisprudence there's not mentioned in the Quran. The usul and furu are mentioned in the Quran clearly. However, the more detailed the detailed part of the Quran comes from the tafsir of the Quran and the ta'wil of the Quran. But we can't do that without a guide. If you have if you're okay, let's say you're buying something, you're buying a washing machine, let's say, right? And you see the notes, and they're written in very, very bland text. You can't really go in depth. You need to call someone, right? If you don't understand what's inside, if it's in a different language, let's say, you had to call someone to tell you, right? You need another person, another human, right? Which is why we need an Imam, we need a person. Imam is a Quran and Natiq. Imam is a walking and talking Quran. We need him to explain the Quran and explain all the rulings that Allah has given us.
Without Imam, we can't understand Quran.
Yeah, we can understand Quran, but we can't understand the whole Islam. If the Quran does not mention a lot of the things that the Imams have found from the tafsir of the Quran. Without the tafsir of the Quran, I couldn't even be telling you this, what I'm saying right now. Without the tafsir of the Quran, I would just be thinking, okay, this is people going with the leader, then whoever's given book in right hand, then he enters paradise. I can't give you the deeper meaning into this. We need the Imams to tell us this.
I'm just giving a hint. If I say the meaning of Imam is a book, do you know the first book which was revealed was on Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam? There is a gap between Hazrat Nuh and Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wassalam.
Yes.
And that is what Surah Baqarah, verse number 213 says. You go and check that ayah later on. What the ayah is saying? Yawma nad'u
kulla unas.
Now the answer is here. There is somewhere the book is not there. How will you reply?
I agree with that statement. And also, a lot of the books have been altered. A lot of things in the books have been deleted. There have been a lot of additions in some of the books. So for every person to have their leader as a book, it wouldn't make sense because the book isn't.
This kulla unasin. So before Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, there is no book. If I'm translating Imam as book, so the people between Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wassalam and Hazrat Nuh, how they will be summoned?
They'll be summoned with their prophet.
There's no book then. There's no book over there. So translating Imam as book has no sense, no meaning here actually.
Yeah.
So there was a time there was no book.
Yes.
And the Holy Quran is saying, Kulla unasin. Every person will be summoned with their Imam. So if those people, those they didn't have the book, then how they will be summoned? So you cannot translate Imam as book, because there was a time there was no book.
Yeah.
So, وَلَا يُظْلَمُونَ فَتِيلًا. What is fatil?
Fatila is a thread that you get from a date. It's very, very small.
Where is it?
Sorry?
Where is it? Exactly. I asked brother Muhammad Jawad to bring the date, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned 3 different words in the Holy Quran.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's split between the date seed. It's split in the date seed. It's a very small thread.
Ahsan.
So it shows an insignificant amount.
Ahsan. So there is one fatil, in between actually, there is small thread. There is qitmir and there is naqir. After this, come to me, I'll show you the picture. So Allah has mentioned all these 3 examples. Okay, why giving the example of fatil? Baba, smaller than that, we have example of atom. Allah could have given the example of atom. Allah, lesser than the atom, I don't know, what is it?
Zarra.
Huh?
Zarra. Molecule.
No. There are some particles actually smaller than atom. What are these? They have found out in science. Quartz. Okay? Allah could have given that example. Why he has given the example of fatil?
Okay, so Allah likes to use examples a lot. We can. There's also another surah where He says, "Mithqala dharratin khayran yara." He also said dharra. He didn't say fatila. He didn't say quarks. Yeah, Allah makes a lot of similes and metaphors. It's not for us to ask why He used them. He used them to give us a picture in our head, to give us an image in our head.
Should I give you a hint? Where the Quran was revealed.
Yeah, the quarks weren't found yet. Like they scientists didn't know them.
Quarks were not there.
Yeah.
This Quran was revealed in Africa.
No, in the Middle East.
Arab. What do they have?
Oh yeah, they have dates. Yes.
They understand well what is fatil, what is qitmir, what is naqir. Okay, so Allah has given the example of fatil here, because fatil was found there and they knew what is fatil. If Allah had given the example of quartz, they wouldn't have understood what is quartz. Okay, from this particular statement, wala yuzlamuna fatila, what lesson can I derive from this particular statement when I'm giving example to someone?
That Allah is 100% just in His.
No, you are a teacher and you want to give example, for example, to the African students. What sort of example you should give? While keeping this example, Allah is using fatila. What sort of example you should give?
I would give it about like if I was a teacher. So
in Africa, for example,
okay.
And you are supposed to give an example of good food.
Okay, so I would say maybe sweeter than a mango. I don't know.
Mango, okay. Why?
Because mangoes are found in Africa and people understand them.
Ahsan. So if someone says that why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not mentioned giraffe in Quran, why camel? What will you reply?
Because it was revealed in Arabia.
They haven't seen giraffe, so giving example of giraffe as no value. Why only 25 prophets are mentioned in the Holy Quran? Not 124, all the prophets are not mentioned. Why?
Because I'm pretty sure in another ayah of the Quran it says that every time and place should have a leader, right? So the leaders in Arabia, the most prominent ones, they were the 25. There may have been other ones in other parts of the world, but the Quran was revealed in Arabia, and most of the Muslims are in Arabia, and Allah knew that. Allah knows everything. Yeah, so He gave us the examples of these examples.
Why? Why not giving the example of one prophet there in China?
Because the Quran was revealed in Arabia. So
it's
the
of
people
no use. You don't know about that person. If, for example, I'm talking to you and giving some example of a person living in Karachi, you'll say, Baba Maulana, I don't know Karachi. So what I have to do with the Karachi person? Give me the example of person living in Dera, Dubai. Al-Quds. So I can understand the situation of that person. Okay. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
So thank you. I believe tomorrow, inshallah, at 9 o'clock a.m. So, just a reminder, please let's keep the facility clean. There are customers located outside. We'll take you outside. And the venue will be communicated to you.
Salam Sheikh. Sheikh.